is enough said.
Happy Hump Day, Heat Nation! Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. It's the day before 4th of July. Most of us have the day off tomorrow, so I know we're all very excited. Let's celebrate that positivity by smashing the like button. Do not forget to subscribe as we're rocking on rolling to 5,000 subscribers. Now let's go over some content, you guys. Now I want to take a moment to thank everyone because yesterday posted 2 videos for you guys. You guys were killing it with the likes, with the comments. Really appreciate y'all. We talked about DeMar DeRozan yesterday, you guys. There was an update last night by Barry Jackson, one of the most credible reporters down here in South Florida. And I'm going to read to you a post that Barry Jackson wrote. And I want to talk about this a little bit because this was about DeMar DeRozan. Last night, Barry Jackson posted, the Miami Heat have gone from best decision-making team as far as personnel in town to third best. It's puzzling and disheartening for fans. At least they still have a strong development program. One of the followers responded with a comment, so does that mean the DeMar DeRozan thing fell apart? Barry Jackson responded, they explored it, had a conversation, but he wants more money than Miami can currently give him. End quote. I mean, that's reality, you guys. We spoke about this yesterday. There's only 2 ways that the Miami Heat can bring DeMar DeRozan on this team. He either takes that $5.2 million mid-level exception, or you trade a guy like Tyler Hero or Terry Rozier to create cap space to give him more money. It doesn't look like the Miami Heat are going to do that. Chances are there's really not a lot of an open market for Tyler Hero because of the injuries, because of what he sustained. Maybe the Miami Heat feel like they're not getting good enough pieces back for him. And that makes a lot of sense because if you're dangling a 24-year-old guy on a favorable contract and you're not even able to get a fraction of that return back, then best thing is to keep him and let him increase his value. And it's like I've said before, you guys, I understand there's a lot of moving pieces that have happened this offseason. I get that Paul George went to Philadelphia. I know that New York traded for Mikal Bridges. But at the end of the day, you guys, in a 7-game series, fully healthy, I've been saying this all season long, and I know people are going to call me crazy, but in a 7-game series, if this roster is fully healthy, led by Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, which we've seen what they can do in the playoffs, you also have a healthy Tyler Hero, you have a Terry Rozier that's fully acclimated with this team. If you give me a roster led by those 4 guys, I don't see why this team cannot contend in the East next season. But the reason why Heat fans want an upgrade is 2 reasons. 1, because you want to see this team try to get better. And 2, it's because of what's happened in the past. The last 2 regular seasons, we've been held to basically mediocrity because of injuries, because of Jimmy Butler not trying his best during the regular season, because of giving a guy like Kyle Lowry a bad contract. The Miami Heat fans right now, we're just scared basically going into the regular season because running it back just terrifies Miami Heat fans. But in reality, running it back really isn't the worst thing in the world because you do have a current team that can contend. And even though things look negative right now, you guys, I want to put some light into perspective. Remember one thing, Jimmy Butler's on a contract season. So that's why the 2025 season will be a little bit different in my opinion. You're going to have a guy playing for a contract, which means he's going to be more engaged and is possibly going to mean he's going to play more. Bam Adebayo just got a contract extension. Bam Adebayo has been flirting with Defensive Player of the Year every single year. You know that this is going to motivate him to get to an All-NBA level. Tyler Hero, I'm sure, is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder because he's hearing what everyone's saying about him. And at the end of the day, if he wants to be valued as a true NBA player and a potential All-Star, the injury thing's got to stop. We all know that. And I'm sure Terry Rozier is looking at the injuries he suffered toward the end of last season and thinking, give me a full season with this squad. Remember, y'all, Terry Rozier was balling right before he got injured. He was showing that he was fitting very well with this Miami Heat team. You take those 4 guys, you're throwing in Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's only going to get better. You're throwing in Nikola Jovic, who's showing upgrades every single season. I understand that Duncan Robinson was injured towards the playoffs, but he will be healthy going into next season. Duncan Robinson is an elite shooter in the NBA. You're bringing back Kevin Love. You drafted Kel'el Ware. You got Pell Larson. You're bringing some two-way players. Now, the question is, how else are you going to fill this roster? Because DeLon Wright signed with the Milwaukee Bucks. You don't know what's happening with Haywood Highsmith. However, yesterday, it was reported by Barry Jackson that the Miami Heat are actually in talks of re-signing Caleb Martin. Now, we know that Caleb Martin opted out of a $7.1 million contract, but yesterday, Barry Jackson did report that the Miami Heat are looking to offer Caleb Martin a contract averaging around $12 million per year. Most likely would be a 3-year contract. Now, it's very surprising to me that the Miami Heat are actually looking to bring Caleb Martin back when I first heard that news. But then after I gave it some thought, it wasn't really that surprising. And it's actually funny to me that Caleb Martin, there's no real reports out there of him talking to other teams. It's been really quiet with Caleb Martin and Haywood Highsmith. Maybe that means that they're allowing Miami Heat to do their thing. I really don't think that's the case, because when you're a free agent, you got to go get your money. So the fact that there hasn't been a lot of news with Caleb Martin is telling me that this signing may happen. Now, here's the only thing. Right now, for the 2025 season, the second apron line is at $189 million. Right now, the Miami Heat's team salary with Caleb Martin and Pell Larson added is about $180 million. If you give Caleb Martin a $12 million contract, you're putting yourself in the second apron. And we have talked about this before. If you are a second apron team, that $5.2 million mid-level exception goes away. You also cannot sign buyout players during the middle of the season. So these moves that we've made the last few years, getting Kevin Love, Cody Zeller, DeLon Wright, Patty Mills midseason, you can't do that. So that goes away. So the only thing the Miami Heat team would be able to do if you give Caleb Martin that contract is bring back minimum players. And then you are giving yourself a huge tax bill. And I've said this before, I don't think the Miami Heat are going to put themselves in the second apron for Caleb Martin. I mean, for a Donovan Mitchell, for a Kevin Durant, someone of that caliber, yeah, you'll put yourself in the second apron. So this news puzzles me, but because Barry Jackson's reporting it, and because Caleb Martin isn't really talking with a lot of teams that's being reported, there's no real offers that are being given out there, maybe that's a possibility. Now, is it likely? Who knows? Because that's a question for Mickey Arison and the Miami Heat. Do they want to go into the second apron giving Caleb Martin a contract? Now, here's where it does make sense in order for them to do that. Maybe the Miami Heat is realizing we really can't get anyone. There's no trade market out there. We're going to have to run it back. And if we want to run it back, because it was reported by NBA Central that Pat Riley and the Miami Heat still feel that this team can be a contender. So if the Miami Heat truly feel that way, they're bringing back Caleb Martin, because losing him is kind of like what you did last year with Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, when you lost those guys for nothing. So maybe the Miami Heat feel that even though going into the second apron by bringing back Caleb Martin still benefits them with their hopes of winning an NBA championship. Remember, like I've said before, we've said it all season long. What was one team this thing was missing? Size. They added it in the draft. So maybe they may be good enough. And if you keep this team the way it is, maybe there's a point guard out there for the veteran minimum that you can bring that can help out come off the bench. Like a Dennis Smith Jr. They definitely shouldn't bring Patty Mills back. But you never know, man. Some veteran presence can give them experience. Running it back may not seem the worst thing in the world. It's like I've said before, fully healthy, this roster can compete. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think the Miami Heat are stuck in mediocrity? Do you think that this team can actually do something fully healthy? Remember, you guys, we've never seen this team fully healthy. I know it's been 5 years now, so the expectation of being fully healthy this year is kind of far-fetched, but this may be the year. In my belief, this Jimmy Butler build, this roster has one more shot. 2025 season is make it or break it. If you win it all, it's a success. If you don't, time to blow it up. Let me know in the comments what you think, you guys. Don't forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We are pushing for 5,000 subscribers. Let me know in the comments what you got planned tomorrow for 4th of July. Really interested in knowing that, you guys. Thank you so much for the love and support. Until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Yeah, buddy. Let's go.